let's talk about something we all dread, right? Giving feedback. That moment when you know you have to say something difficult, and you're just bracing for an awkward or maybe even a really hostile conversation. Well, what if I told you that you could completely flip that script, that you could turn those moments of potential conflict into moments of actual clarity and trust? Let's dive in and find out how.
You know the feeling. Your heart starts racing, maybe your palms get a little sweaty, and every fiber of your being just wants to not have this conversation. So, what is the deal? Why is giving tough feedback so incredibly stressful? Is there something wrong with us? Here is the absolute best news you're going to hear all day. It's not you. It's not a personal flaw. The reason these conversations feel like a genuine threat is because, well, deep down in our brains, that's exactly what they are. It's a primal biological response, and the great thing is, once you understand it, you can manage it.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at that biological trigger. We're calling it the amygdala jolt. Then we'll see how to switch from a knee-jerk reaction to a thoughtful response. After that, we'll learn how to frame the conversation for success, and we'll master a super simple but powerful tool called SBI. And finally, we'll see how to put it all into practice.
Okay, our first stop is inside your own head, because to really get a handle on conflict, we have to understand what's going on in our brains on a physical level, and it all kicks off with something called the amygdala jolt.
So think of your amygdala as your brain's ancient alarm system. It's the part that's been around forever, and its only job is to keep you safe. When it senses a threat, and to your brain a tough conversation counts as a social threat, it hits the panic button. It floods your system with adrenaline and cortisol, and that triggers one of three classic responses. Fight, where you go on the attack, flight, where you just want to get out of there, or freeze, where you just shut down and hope it all goes away. Sound familiar?
Now, the secret here isn't to try and get rid of that jolt. You can't. It's just part of being human. The goal is to move past it, to learn how to shift from an automatic and, frankly, unhelpful reaction into a deliberate, thoughtful response. This is all about taking back the controls. And this difference is everything. A reaction is pure instinct. It's your amygdala hijacking your brain. But a response? That comes from your prefrontal cortex, the logical, thinking CEO of your brain. We're not trying to kill the instinct. We're trying to move from that emotional hijack and get back into a calm, deliberate state where we're actually in charge.
So how do you actually do that? It sounds complicated, but it's not. It takes about 10 seconds. First, you consciously relax your jaw. You're probably clenching it right now without realizing it. Then, let your arms hang loose. That helps switch off the fight mode. Next, relax your legs, which tells your brain you don't need to flee. And finally, you breathe. A simple 4-2-4 count. In for 4, hold for 2, out for 4. This whole process tells your body, hey, we're safe. We're in control here.
Okay, deep breath. You've calmed that primal brain of yours. You're ready to respond, not just react. But wait, the next crucial step happens before you even say a single word about the actual feedback. It's all about framing the conversation. Because trust me, how you start is almost always how you'll finish. Before you open your mouth, you have to stop and ask yourself one simple but massive question. What is my real goal here? Am I walking into this to prove that I'm right and they're wrong? Or am I here to learn something, to understand their side, and to solve a problem together? Your answer here changes absolutely everything.
Let's be real about what this looks like. The winning mindset sees it as a battle to be won. It's all about I win, you lose. But the learning mindset, it's totally different. It's focused on understanding how the other person feels, looking for where you both agree. One creates a solution for one person. The other creates a solution for everyone. So here's a little 3-step script that is an absolute game changer. Step 1. State the topic. No surprises. Hey, I'd like to talk about the meeting this morning. Step 2. State your learning goal. My goal is to understand your perspective on it. Step 3, and this is key, get their buy-in. Is now a good time? This simple start creates safety and partnership from the get-go.
All right, the stage is set. You're calm, you frame the conversation in a collaborative way. Now what do you actually say? This is where our secret weapon comes in, the SBI model. It's a simple, elegant formula that makes feedback clear, specific, and way less confrontational.
SBI. It stands for Situation, Behavior, and Impact. And its whole job, its entire reason for being, is to strip out all the messy emotional stuff, the personal judgments, the assumptions, the vague accusations. It forces you to stick to the facts, which makes it so much easier for the other person to actually hear what you're saying.
So let's pull this apart. S is for situation. You anchor the feedback to a specific time and place. No more you always. B is for behavior. This is the just the facts part. You describe exactly what the person said or did. No mind reading, no guessing their intentions. And I is for impact. This is where you explain the effect their behavior had. When you put these three together, there's no room for argument about the facts.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's put some meat on these bones. How does this actually sound when a real person says it? We're going to look at how SBI works for giving praise, for tougher developmental feedback, and even for looking at ourselves. And get this, SBI isn't just for difficult conversations. It is an amazing tool for giving positive reinforcement. So instead of just saying, hey, good job in the meeting, you say this. You specify the call, you name the exact behavior, and you explain the positive impact. See how much more meaningful that is?
Okay, now for the tricky stuff, right? The constructive feedback. Look at how this is worded. It doesn't say you're a spotlight hog or you don't care about the team. It's just facts. In the training session, you answered most questions, and the impact was it limited others' learning. It's direct, it's undeniable, and it's about the action, not the person's character. And here's where this tool gets really powerful. You can turn it on yourself. Using SBI for self-reflection helps you get really honest without just beating yourself up. It moves you from that vague, yucky feeling of guilt to a clear-eyed look at your actions and their consequences. And that's where real change starts.
Now, as you start trying this out, you're going to run into a few common traps, so watch out for these. First, giving vague feedback, like you need to be more proactive. The fix? Anchor it in a specific situation. Second, judging someone's intent, like you clearly don't care. Nope. Focus only on the observable behavior. And finally, and this one is huge, people often skip the why. You have to explain the impact.
So when you pull it all together, it's pretty clear. From calming your own brain, to setting the stage, to using this simple tool, every single step is designed for one thing, to help you communicate with both clarity and compassion. Because that, right there, is how you solve problems and build real, lasting trust.
So, look, the big question now isn't what you've learned, it's what you're going to do with it. Are you ready to take these tools out for a spin and actually start building stronger, more trusting relationships starting this week?
Here's my challenge to you. This week, just find 2 moments. First, deliver one piece of genuinely positive feedback to someone using the SBI model. And second, when the time is right, deliver one piece of constructive developmental feedback, also using SBI. Start small, give it a try, and just watch what happens. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes.